to adventure is ours. I am Vic, and today, together with Zia, we are in a small town called Kiedrich, around 5 kilometers away from Eltville. I know this place very well. I used to live here for 15 years, end of 70s until mid 90s. And it's famous for its wine, 1,000-year-old wine village. Let's go and have a look and see the nice points of this village. So we are here in the center of Kiedrich. In front of us is a town hall. Right there is a very famous restaurant from Engel. The owner, who passed away of course, he was a prisoner in the German war, a Frenchman, and he married a German lady, and they opened this restaurant. Until now their children still take care of it. The main square, and right here you have the Basilica Saint Valentinus, built in the 15th century. This was a place of pilgrimage for people having epilepsy. And this basilica has also something very special. It has the oldest wooden organ in whole Germany. It's still playable and still being used. Built in 1500. So here is this famous Basilica Minor. I'm just gonna go around, and you can see the 12 steps, and Jesus Christ was carrying his cross. As you can see here, this church basilica was built in 1493, and it has the oldest playable wooden organ, built in the year 1500. So the restaurant's from Engel, and there still is a Christmas tree. Now it's mid-January. They're still keeping it until end of the month. And here we have a nice fountain. Everything is written in Latin. I cannot read that. As you can see, everywhere you have Weingut. All of these are owners of vineyards, and they're making wine. Wine is number one here in Kiedrich. All vineyards. And famous wine too. We are in a very old town, and this place was built in 1211. Very, very old. Some houses are so old I think they will crumble, but they're taken care of. Just gonna walk around a little bit. So we're now walking through the old part of Kiedrich. I remember this one. This was, if I'm not mistaken, a scale. I took it out over here. There used to be a scale where they can weigh exactly Gemeindewaage, where they can weigh horse carriages and everything what they have in them. But I took the scale out. It was here down. As you can see, half-timbered houses, always typical in all German towns. And you will find often Gut Ausschank. That means where they are serving wine. You can see the door carved, and you will see a lot of Weingut, Those are the owners of the vineyards, and they're making the wine. So here you have one. It says Weingut. Weingut Münz Albus. So the owner here, he is making wine and he's selling wine. A rich owner of a lot of acres of vineyards. He also, everywhere you go. Now, Kiedrich, like every town, of course, grew a lot. When I was here in my time, population was about 1,500, and now it's going to 4,000. Here you have a nice carving of a wine press. And right behind us is the Sutton School. The Sutton School, or Sutton Schule, was built in 1540. Until now it's still being used as a school. As you can see, it says the Kiedrich Backhaus. That is an old sign that is still kept. Now it's only selling wine. And this was one of the oldest bakeries here in Kiedrich, Debo Bakery. So here you have a very big vine, and they can live very, very long. They get very big. And right here we can see Kloster Eberbach. This is a very famous medieval monastery, very known for its wine and very known for its architecture. It's under UNESCO. And in that monastery, just 3 kilometers away from here, the movie The Name of the Rose with Sean Connery was taken. Very nice, beautiful house. And you can see the streets are very narrow, only one car can pass. So we are now walking here in the Oberstraße, up the street, one very old street here in Kiedrich. Again here selling wine, Weinbau. And we're gonna proceed here down to the right. And you can see here Weinschenke Schloss Grönerstein. Here is the Castle Grönerstein, built in 640. My sister was invited when she was young and played the piano in the great concert hall. That is one of the properties. The castle, not always very well taken care of, I have to admit. Behind is a big park, and they have, of course, a lot of vineyards. As you can see, the property is huge, just on this side, and all the way to the back, all the way down there. All owned by this family. And this property is here on the Suttonstraße, which was an English baron who did a lot for Kiedrich. He was born 1820 and died 1873. A big donor for Kiedrich. So from the Suttonstraße, we're walking down to this property. On the right is all belongs to those rich people. Actually, they're descendants. there you have the castle, the old gate, very old trees. Kiedrich Bach, famous stream. And everywhere you look, of course, vineyards. And right on top, that is Scharfenstein. We're going now there. So after walking from that estate, we're here to this place going along the St. Valentinus Hospital, which is here on the left side. I remember when I was young, early morning, deers were here to be seen. We see people there up in the vineyards working and clipping the vines. And one in front of us is where we're going. That is the original hospital. So we're here at the back of this St. Valentinus Krankenhaus. Here is the Bassenheimer Hof. This place in the Middle Ages used to be a mill. And it was converted in 1660 to a house by noble people. Until now it's still there. We're going here. And we'll be exactly at the foot of this tower called Scharfenstein. And you can see them clipping, and there's a Scharfenstein. You're gonna climb up there. So this is a very nice place. Come on, Zia, show the way. We're going along those old walls made out of slate stones and mud, still holding. And let's go up. And here is the tower Scharfenstein. This used to be a castle over here, and this was one of the towers of the castle, which was completely destroyed. The castle was here all around. Now, of course, it's nothing else but a small park. And as you can see, this was built in 1160 in the Middle Ages. It withstood many wars and many uprisings. And in 1632, when the French troops invaded Germany, they destroyed this castle or fort, like they did all around Germany. The French didn't want that other countries have castles, only the French. So when they came to Germany, they proceeded in destroying many of the castles. Shameful. And here on top, you can see also falcons that are breeding. So here it goes up to the tower, but now it's closed. You can go to the town hall and get a key to go inside and have a look. I had the luck when I was very young, when I was still living here, to be inside this tower, and I was all the way on top. So we are here at the side, and we're going down now this way, a small path to bring us down a path that I used to always climb when I was young. As we can see, everything here, it's very steep, built on slate, and that's why this castle was built here, so nobody can attack it. And nobody was able to, except for the French in 1632. As you can see, some very big rocks here. Scharfenstein means sharp rock. Maybe this is the reason why those knights of Scharfenstein, they took this name. Yes, it's getting steeper and steeper here. I almost slipped. Everything is covered with slate stones and mud. Are we almost down? And just around the corner. So we just came down, and let's have a look over here. Yes, that's the one. That's the stone. Look at that. And most likely there's a reason why the knights, they call themselves Scharfenstein, sharp stone. So here we have this Kiedrich stream, is how it's called, Kiedricher Bach, coming all the way from the mountains. I remember in my time we had crawfish inside this stream and also trouts. I don't know about now. Right here, this place, we had a lot of trouts. And this is a very, very clear water. When you go to its springs up in the mountains, you can even drink this water. Lucky those who live here, they have nice and clear water on the top. So here we are, and now at the St. Valentinus Krankenhaus, built in 1884. This was at first a place for those who have epilepsy, to be taken care of. You can now really cure epilepsy. And this is a new part that's been built afterwards. It's old by now. Later on, it became a mental asylum, but not like in the days when my father used to work here. In those days, it was only for women and only for the natural mental retired people who are still mentally in the state of a 3-year-old or a 6-year-old. Nowadays, it's a bit different. It's about schizophrenia. It's for those who are alcoholics and who lose their mind. In those times, those who were working here were nuns with my father. Now it's only medical staff. Times have changed. Times have changed. And right over here, where now it's a garden, used to stand a house, 2-story house, where we lived at first before we moved to another place in Kiedrich, just under that tower called Scharfenstein, just behind this hospital. So here in Kiedrich, everywhere you go, you will find those small Kapellen, chapels, how they call them, because Kiedrich is a Catholic place, although they also have a Protestant church, but they're mostly Catholics. And it was very famous, as we said before, for the pilgrimage for those who have epilepsy. But those small chapels have been built for different reasons, and this one over here is to commemorate the dead of all those who died during the plague. This was built here in 1604, and you can see how many died through the plague. And at the end, only 302 people survived from the plague. And those who died were all buried not here at the back of the church, the graveyard, but in the fields, of course, because they were affected by the plague. So they're all buried somewhere in graves in the fields. So nobody knows where they are anymore. At the back of us, you can see the church. We're now here in the fields, probably where those were buried in 1600 during the plague. So wherever we look, we see vineyards, they see the tower and the church. And all the way at the back, that's the Kalte Herberge, the highest peak in the region, and you can see snow. So we're now to the end of our tour. We hope that you have enjoyed it. Hope to see you again soon. Take care of yourself. And until then, don't forget, subscribe now. The adventure is ours. Bye.